Hello, everyone. I'm the Rev'd Ross Bliss, the vicar here at Christ Church Cathedral in Victoria, BC. And joining me today is Blake Andison, who is the program manager for the Umbrella Society. The Umbrella Society is our program outreach recipient for the month of October. So we have a special designated donation opportunity every month, and we designate a special recipient. And for October, it is the Umbrella Society. So it seems fitting today to have their program manager here to talk about the organization so you all can learn about it. And so, Blake, hello again and welcome, and thanks for joining us today. Very generous with your very busy time, no doubt. So to begin with, I think for a lot of folks, the Umbrella Society might be a name, but can you start with what do you guys do? What is the Umbrella Society?
Sure. I mean, in a nutshell, Umbrella Society supports individuals experiencing substance use and mental health challenges and their loved ones as well. For us, our organization started 20 years ago, and primarily for the first 15 years, it was just an outreach organization, and which looked like just meeting one-on-one with clients in the community, with a wide range of demographics, age and economic background, and just helping them with their substance use goals. So, for a lot of folks, it's was just working on trying to cut down on their substance use. For us, we are always trying to promote abstinence and recovery-based services. So what that looks like is just meeting with individuals in the community and going for coffee or going for a walk and talking about their goals and trying to help them achieve those. So a lot of times it's a lot of system navigation, trying to help our system is very hard to navigate at the best of times, let alone with having significant mental health and financial challenges and having an addiction as well on top of that. It becomes really insurmountable. So part of our job in our outreach program has always been to try to make that a little bit easier. And then a lot of times too, it's helping access the recovery programs. So treatment and finding funding and troubleshooting, the barriers that would get an individual to treatment centers, as well as, working on transportation and working on, just even getting folks into detox and working the island health system and trying to start them on their recovery journey, wherever that may be. So our slogan is meeting people where they're at. So, sometimes individuals aren't ready to make that big jump into abstinence and so sometimes it's just having those conversations to get folks to the point where they really are in a position to be making those big changes in their life. So
wow. It sounds like a combination of so many necessary things, partly just a voice, a person, a connection, a friend, an advocate, and as you mentioned, helping people navigate these systems. I mean, they're there to help people, but they're just prohibitive on the front end.
I can't believe the amount of work that us as umbrella workers need to educate ourselves on the system and how these processes work, and it's constantly changing and very convoluted. So for us to provide any clarity in that capacity is big for our clients. The way we look at it too is every client is so unique. They all have unique challenges, situations, and so we really try to look at it as coming in. And like you say, we're just, we're a support, and we're just looking at this individual as how can we help them, get to the place in their life where they want to be, so it can look very different. Some individuals just need support, and they just need a friend, someone to talk to and help work through this process and walk the walk with them as such. Whereas other individuals really need tasks to help get completed. They need to check some stuff off the box. So it is a very individualized service, our outreach program, and that's the model that we take into all of our other programs as well. In the last 5-6 years, we've really expanded. We've entered a bunch of partnerships with Island Health, which kind of sees us strategically placed throughout the community in areas where people are getting services that are experiencing, significant substance use challenges. So we are in both of the hospitals, Royal Jubilee and Vic General, providing support for individuals coming in that have, substance use related issues. So we work with a doctor and social worker team up there to provide, continuity of care. We have a program that I started up up at Wilkinson Jail, helping individuals with transition plans, trying to talk a bunch of individuals into getting treatment once they get out of incarceration. We're working on housing options, supports, counseling, and whatnot. We are part of a couple intensive case management teams in town, working with individuals that have a higher acuity and need more one-on-one kind of ongoing support. And so we have an overdose follow-up team. So if an individual has experienced an overdose, we have a team that comes and helps support them to help meet their needs. It's a very scary time after an overdose, and there's a lot of challenges that come with that. So we have a team attached to that. We just started up an Indigenous Outreach team, working with our Indigenous community specifically, and really trying to tailor our supports based around their traditions and their needs right now. And that's been a really a significant one in the last year, of course. We just also started up a team for individuals that are experiencing concurrent mental health challenges as well as substance use. It's called the COSS team, and that's in partnership with Connections Place. So we're always trying to expand our programs and really try to find ourselves in as many different areas in town as we can to be providing that support. But it all looks like, outreach. It all is kind of based on the same kind of individualized approach, just in different areas.
It sounds like these partnerships are vital, though, in extending your reach. You just laid out a whole bunch of really vital partnerships there, which I guess in my mind was part of the reason for the name Umbrella. I guess I come from a corporate background. I'm thinking umbrella. Usually when you say umbrella, you mean something, laid over a bunch of other things that somehow takes them into account or takes them in. And you probably didn't mean that. You probably meant maybe umbrella as shelter, or both. I don't know.
That's funny. I believe at its inception, I'm unsure, at 20 years ago when this all started, I would almost think, like you say, it was more of that shelter. But actually it has, over the years, I think we're aligning more to like what you say is having that kind of broad range of comprehensive support.
Well, you are kind of an umbrella organization in the sense that it's usually implied in the corporate language, right? Like you are actually kind of overarching many other agencies doing this work, not like overarching them in terms of supervising them or but you're there with them. You're an ingredient,
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that. For us, our connections to other community supports in town, I think, is what sets us apart from other individuals. We really have strong relationships with other fantastic service providers like Our Place and Kool-Aid and
there's two more.
all these smaller programs and Allen Health as well. And what we try to do is identify the gaps and try to insert ourselves in those gaps, and Victoria has so many wonderful services in town, but we've been identified as being quite siloed. So, a lot of times, even in our field, there are programs and services out there that we're unaware of. And so our goal is always to educate ourselves on what's available out there so that we can link our clients up. So a lot of what we do is a liaison service, essentially, is saying, hey, you need, man, you've experienced, some significant trauma, and this is, we think a key part of your substance use. So we're going to line you up with the Men's Therapy Center, the Men's Trauma Center, and because we have a good connection with them, and we're going to make sure that you get, some free counseling through them, and there's some grants that we can help access through this other organization. And so that's, So for us, our relationships with other, wonderful agencies in town is, for one, I think gives us a lot more function in our jobs, but it also, it serves our clients better, right?
Well, I think from the sounds of it that you're also you're functionally optimizing the impact of all these other organizations
That's right.
by reducing the siloed aspect or helping to mitigate the siloed aspect. I think that alone is quite a significant thing that I wonder why we don't think about that more often when we're planning and organizing these societies and things, right? Like,
Yeah,
interoperability is crucial.
we have definitely talked within organizations on how can we kind of bridge this together. The continuity of care is something that it's elusive, it seems, and it's something that we're striving for, always, because those gaps, especially for individuals with significant substance use and mental health challenges, those gaps are really the killers. That's and for me, it's I've said this before, when an individual actually reaches out and says, I need help, and then there's a gap in care, between when they've reached out for getting help and then actually accessing that help. That's the most lonely, scariest time you could possibly be.
Oh yeah.
Because you are actually at that point, and also too, that motivation, it can be just a glimmer, so being able to have that continuity of care to keep people supported, while they're waiting to access services, or opening their eyes to what services are available to them, is definitely,
or just having an optimistic experience. I know from my work that sort of barrier to accessing these services is in the form of administrations, bureaucracies, forms to fill out. Like, this is just insurmountable for so many people. I mean, it begs the question, why do each of these organizations, all doing essentially the same kind of work, each have their own separate application process? There are countries where it doesn't work that way.
Right,
You get in the gate and then you suddenly have access to like a cornucopia of helps, but we don't do it that way here. Everyone has their own process,
right.
which there's reasons for that, but it isn't very good. It
does not help an individual actually access the services.
No.
And like you say, it's multiple barriers, and a lot of times, man, when an individual is struggling, all it takes is one barrier for them to throw up their hands, right?
And it's also organizationally inefficient because you're replicating bureaucracies every time. And so literally every one of these organizations has staff resources poured into this aspect, the front end.
Right.
And the front ends are remarkably similar. And remarkably similar questions are asked, and the screening is remarkably similar across all of them. You got to wonder, we're the same way. I mean, the churches have multiple, we replicate our administrative functions, in every parish and every instance. And we sometimes scratch our heads too. Like, this is, that's an umbrella aspect that maybe is not explored fully.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think you're onto something. What we do in our part is, we recognize, because we've done so many referrals for treatment centers and other services, that we try to keep our referral process incredibly simple. It's literally a phone call. You can give us your name, phone number, and you're off to the races. We also too have noticed that a lot of individuals are denied services based on their track record, or they can't check every box. And for us, we're kind of like, we'll accept anybody. If you're willing to work on goals, we're going to find some supports for you. So, and be it outreach, be it coming into our housing program, which for us, is something that I haven't shared on yet, but is something we've won awards for, and we really take a lot of pride in. We've seen so many individuals see long-term recovery and long-term sobriety through our housing programs, and we take that same low barrier approach, real individualizing our care for these folks, and letting them stay as long as they want in our houses as well. Recovery is the biggest misconception people have with recovery is, you go and work on it for a few months and you got it beat, or you go to treatment and they're safe. They went to treatment, and for us, it's a much longer journey, and there's a lot of falling down in the meantime. So we try to create a model that's going to provide long-term care that really, will actually look at the fact that an individual might have a slip or a relapse along the way, and they need more support during that time, not less. And and so for us, we're always looking at it, just how can we care for these individuals? How can we keep them supported for longer? So they can
Wow.
actually, realize that long-term sobriety and long-term success. So.
Well, I think that you've given us a pretty good snapshot here, and I think there is a lot to this. And so I think my final question is, are there volunteer opportunities or opportunities for people, in addition to supporting your organization financially, are there ways they can contribute with their time and energy?
Well, you know what? Volunteering is a bit of a tricky one as far as client work. Obviously, most of our work is in the field. But what I would say is, we are always kind of doing fundraising opportunities.
Right.
Trying, we a couple, since COVID, we really haven't had that opportunity in the same capacity. But before COVID, we did a couple of big charity events that raised enough money for us to buy Foundation House, our second stage recovery house. It was a really, really pivotal, point in our organization. And during those times where we have, key charity events, man, we need as much support and volunteers as we can.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
So,
no, I can see that. Like some of the work is you need training and screening to do a lot of this work, but there are ways that people, I'm just asking that question because a lot of people do have more time than money.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll be one of those things where, we'll keep you in the loop when our next big event is.
That'd be great. Some of our folks might want to, support that and participate.
That's fantastic.
Well, thank you again, Blake. It's been just terrific.
Thank you.
I think, again, this is just a taste, but I encourage people watching this to conduct some research of your own and find out more about this fantastic organization in our midst who've been doing so much work for 20 years. And you've probably had a tremendous impact on our common life that we haven't even really appreciated fully, So I think you guys are doing incredible work, just incredible work. You really bless us all.
Thank you so much, and we really appreciate your continued support. I think we've had a great partnership with Christ Church over the years. So
and it will continue.
Really appreciate it.
So remember, folks, the month of October here at Christ Church Cathedral we've designated the Umbrella Society as the recipient of our special outreach donation. So you can make something out to them in particular or to us and sort of tag it and earmark it for that purpose, or you can go straight to them. But we're encouraging you to support this organization this month of October for the wonderful work they do. Very important work. So once again, thank you so much, Blake.
Well, thank you.
I'll let you get back to your busy day.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much.
See you. All right. Bye-bye.